So one of the things that happens when you first leave a religious cult, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, like I did, is that it's very likely you will have an existential crisis, at least for a little bit. Now, what does that mean, having an existential crisis? Well, think about it. If you've been somewhere for years, decades, maybe even your whole life, and you believed one thing like it was the absolute truth, and then you come out of it and you start hearing and finding out other perspectives, other beliefs, other facts, and you having to start question everything you've ever believed, that is going to cause your brain a little bit of a traffic jam. And that is something I went through, even though I didn't become a Jehovah's Witness until my mid-teens. So I did grow up with other perspectives and views of the world. I spent 22 years as a witness, and I honestly, there was a time I really, really believed everything that was said. I did not question it. To me, it was the absolute truth. So, of course, when my doubts first started to happen, I was still very much subscribed to the ideas of what's in the Bible, the Christianity. And when I finally made a decision to leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, my first reasoning was, even though at the time I still believed it a little bit, I decided that I'd rather die at Armageddon and get destroyed in the Armageddon, so-called Armageddon, than spend one moment being a Jehovah's Witness and mixing with those people that I knew at the time. And this is me not being dramatic. It wasn't dramatic. It was just having spent years and years and years with people who are extremely abusive emotionally, mentally, and very manipulative, and you feel like you would rather be alone for the rest of your life than spend one more minute with fake friends and fake spiritual community. So the point is, if, for example, you've never been a witness or you've never been in a religious cult, and you know someone who has come out of a high control religious organization, please understand that for a while, the person that you know who has come out are going to feel extremely vulnerable and confused about life. They will question things because it's not been only spiritual and religious abuse, it actually affects you on an identity level to the point where the person's self-concept is incredibly skewed for a little while until they find their feet, until they can deconstruct and detox from all the ideas they've been fed and start finding out what their own truth is, what their own belief is. And I would honestly say, not only did I have an existential crisis, I probably had a little bit of a spiritual psychosis as well, because everything I thought was real, I realized it wasn't real. It's just a belief. And when you believe something, anything can be presented to you and you accept it as a fact. So, just one example, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that when people die, they are conscious of nothing at all. It's like going to sleep, and then eventually they will probably get resurrected back into a new body, like the same person and everything, it's just fresh body. So for me to go from that to understanding actually no one has a clue what happens and no one has ever come back. So that was straight away something that I had to get my head around and reconstruct how I viewed those who I've lost in death, such as my father, my grandparents, and other people, because obviously it's a nice fairy tale to believe, that you're going to see your loved ones again. But the truth is, there is just no guarantee for anything. Whatever the beliefs are, when someone's gone, they're gone, and you have to kind of accept it and grieve it. And that's another thing, being a Jehovah's Witness, you don't get to grieve things properly because you're looked at as spiritually weak if you just don't take on the idea that, oh yeah, you'll see them again, what are you crying about? So yeah, please be patient with anyone you know who's come out of high control, a religious situation, whether that's Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Scientologists, whatever other groups there are. I'm sure there's many. And if that's you, you've come out and you're feeling a little bit not yourself, please be patient with yourself, be kind and compassionate, and don't rush it. There is no rush to feel better, there's no rush to deconstruct. Take your time. You are your own boss now. You do not answer to anyone, and you need to live your life to the full and just be happy. So that's my little tidbit for Sunday. I hope everyone's having a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.